Hello everyone, NBZ here with some more X and Y. Got quite a long one today. This is from my stream from a while ago, and it's against someone who I forgot to write down their name. So I'm just going to title them LOL in the video title until you tell me what your name is. If you were the person who played me, then let me know in the comments and I will amend the title and it will all be much better because I don't know, I don't think that's probably what you want to be known as. So issue the challenge, going to throw out some Pokemon. Here we go. Let's kick it off. All right. So I'm gonna lead off with Vaporeon, and Ferrothorn is not something I really want to be staying in on. I obviously can't Toxic it. I can fish for a burn with Scald, but he's most likely going to try and get hazards up, and so I want to go into T-Tar, threaten him with the Fire Blast slash get up my own Stealth Rock. So that's what I'm going to do. Kick off the Sandstorm, but obviously he fears my Vaporeon for some reason with his Ferrothorn and goes straight into his Goodra. Now I know that Goodra, unless they're carrying Focus Blast, really can't deal with T-Tar, so I should be able to get some free Stealth Rocks up here as he goes back into Ferrothorn and is able to basically either go for a Power Whip to threaten me or a Gyro Ball even, or just set up some hazards of his own. It's a much better position for him right now. So I go to Gliscor thinking, okay, I can knock off his leftovers, which will be really useful to get rid of, and then maybe just Earthquake for a bit. Honestly, I don't really have something with a... I guess I have my Dragonite with the Fire Punch, which I can kill it with, but it's nothing... Like, I want to keep Dragonite for the late game because it is a DD sweeper and it would be really useful in that way, so... I obviously don't want to bring it out on the Sandstorm because it's going to be taking the multi-scale away from me and that kind of thing, so... I'm kind of in a position where I have to stay in with Gliscor, and I don't really want to switch, and it's just a little bit unfortunate, but I can deal with Ferrothorn okay, because, I mean, Leech Seed's not actually hurting me. I'm gaining back HP with Poison Heal regardless, so I'm kind of staying at the same amount, and I got rid of his Rocky Helmet, which was his item. He didn't actually have leftovers, so getting rid of that is actually pretty useful, but yeah, I'm just staying in here, trying to stall out, and I end up going for a knockoff again, as he actually ends up switching here into his Talonflame, and apparently he probably doesn't have a spare Life Orb because he's having to rely on Sharp Beak instead, which is a little bit lackluster, but maybe it'll power up that Brave Bird enough at some point to make it powerful. But obvious Roost is obvious, and yeah, I don't Earthquake. I don't know what it is. I know that these Roosts are coming, and yet I'm not Earthquaking. I went for the Toxic instead. Ends up missing, by the way, so complete waste of a turn there as he gets all his health back up to full. I'm like, okay, this isn't good, because Talonflame is bulking up on me, and bulk up Talonflame's pretty dangerous, and I didn't really want to be dealing with it, but I just decided to go for knockoff again, thinking that he might switch. Why did I go for knockoff? I don't know. I honestly can't remember what the reason for these plays are, but I'm being really stupid in all honesty, and I should just go to T-Tar, because having seen Roost and bulk up, his moves are going to be Brave Bird Flare Blitz or Acrobatics Flare Blitz. Actually, no, it's going to be Brave Bird because he had a Sharp Beak, so I should just be going to T-Tar to dealing with this thing, because it is essentially completely 100% walled by T-Tar. I resist both of its main forms of stab, and I can kill it with a Stone Edge. So I end up finally getting the poison off on it, and it's better late than never, right? It's always good to have it there, but it's just like, I could have done that a few turns ago. It would have been nice if I actually hit it the first time, of course, and then I wouldn't have had to deal with all that. But I finally go into T-Tar, take a little bit of rocks damage, but that's not going to matter, as it ends up bulking up on the switch, and probably seeing T-Tar now, even at +2, there is zero reason to keep Talonflame in here. It's definitely going to be useful for the late game for Brave Birding, so no reason to stay in whatsoever, and I am able to basically go for a free Stone Edge and hit whatever comes in on the switch. So it's probably going to be the Blastoise, mainly because that thing's the most defensive Pokemon it has to take on. He has to take on T-Tar, and it can also Rapid Spin away my Stealth Rocks and also threaten me with Scald, so generally a good switch in. Stone Edge, sorry, does a huge amount. Like, I was expecting a little less than that, but I guess this Blastoise can't take those hits that well. It's going to be a solid 3-hit KO, and I'm going to go for a second one here, and hopefully maybe land a crit or something, or something of that nature. But he ends up not rapid spinning as I thought he might. He ends up getting a crit with a Scald, and I actually don't want to stay in here now, because I don't want the risk of me being burned, because I know that T-Tar's still good for later on, especially to deal with Talonflame. So I would like to be in some good nick. I'm not going to stay in on Blastoise to take a second Scald. I'm going to go straight to Vaporeon to deal with that thing, even though there's the risk of him, of course, spinning or even Toxicking if he predicts that. And he actually makes a nice play and goes for the spin here, gets rid of my Stealth Rocks, and makes obviously his job a lot easier. So I'm now going to decide to try and finish this Blastoise off with a Scald. That's probably the best option I have. I didn't want to Toxic it or anything. There's no point. It's at such low HP that it really is meaningless. He actually outspeeds me and gets the Toxic off on me, which that was really annoying because Vaporeon is a Pokemon that's so reliant on just staying alive and not dying. Not only that, but I don't even kill it with Scald. And I don't get the burn either. And then Sandstorm dies on that turn. So nothing is going Vaporeon's way. At so many opportunities to kill that Blastoise. The burn, Sandstorm damage, like, really didn't work out. But he ends up actually over-predicting, staying in a Scalding again on me. And I'm going to hopefully be able to finish him off this time with a Scald. And I did enough damage there. But, God, really annoying thing to deal with Blastoise. It's just so bulky and so hard to take down. So now we're going to go to Goodra, which is as I've been thinking, probably the Assault Vest variant here. It's basically going to prove it by going for the Dragon Tail on this turn. That's essentially what they've been running, so it makes sense. I'm going to get pushed out into the perfect Pokemon to deal with Goodra, as he switched out previously on it. Obviously doesn't have anything that can hit T-Tar. Yeah, I can easily set up Stealth Rocks again on the field because of the simple fact that his Blastoise is now dead. He has no way of spinning away those rocks, and perfect situation for me to be in. Not only that, but also managed to poison the Goodra in the process. So getting the Toxic on something as defensive and as bulky as that is always a fantastic thing to do. So end up getting the Stealth Rocks up as he goes into Ferrothorn. Now, I feel like Power Whip is coming now. At least that should be what his thought process is. At least maybe a Gyro Ball. But I'm going to go to Vaporeon to maybe try and fish from Scald Burns here. My best way of dealing with this thing is going to something like Mawile to chip away at it, going to something like Gliscor to chip away with the Earthquake. I just don't want to go into my Dragonite yet. I want to keep Dragonite for the late game because it is going to be useful, and I do want to get off the spin. I want to get off the Rapid Spin with my Excadrill at least, and I haven't really found a window to do that, so that's kind of my game plan here. First of all, though, I go into Mawile because I am the sub 3 attack set. Unfortunately, this is before I had a Fire Fang variant on Mawile. I actually finished EVing a Fire Fang Mawile today that I was kindly given, so that's awesome. I'm probably going to be using that in the future. It's a 4 attack set I'm going to roll with. But this one, perfectly great for taking on Ferrothorn because it can't break my sub with a single hit, and so it's going to have to go for multiple to be able to do that. In the meantime, I'm not faring too well because Iron Head is resisted, and I am actually going to be taking damage from the Iron Barbs, so it's, you know, it's kind of, I'm working okay with what I got, but it's kind of, you know, it's like a knife that's made out of jelly. Like, it looks like a knife, and it can probably cut some stuff, but it's made out of jelly, so it's not really doing the best job, if you know what I mean. That's probably the worst analogy I've ever come up with. Mawile is like a jelly knife. Maybe I should make one and call it jelly knife. That would be... That's a nick. There we go. This is how nicknames are born. My stupid, inane commentary. So now I go to Gliscor, bring back jelly knife, and we're going to go for the Earthquake here. I did want to save my Mawile because it still has Sucker Punch value. It was a low amount of HP, but always good to keep that around, especially because it resists the Stealth Rock, and so it's not going to die from switching. And it could be useful. So now it goes into the Talonflame. I know I can live a Flare Blitz. I end up going for the Earthquake actually on this turn, thinking that he might try and roost, but doesn't happen to be the case. I guess just wants to kill me with a Flare Blitz. Thankfully, though, ends up not dying, and the good thing about that, of course, is that it allows me on this turn to go for the roost and get my health back up to a much more respectable amount, and basically just allows me to be in a better position after his Talonflame died, because if he died the last turn, my HP wouldn't have been good enough to the point at which I would have been able to survive the oncoming hit from whatever he switches in, which I can't quite remember until he's going to do it. It's an Aegislash, there we go. And he is running the mixed Aegislash with Balloon, it seems like, but Balloon is no problem for my Gliscor because I'm actually running Knockoff, which not only gets rid of the Balloon, but also super effective. Excellent. Should I say excellent? Oh god, no, bad pun. Don't use that. I end up going for Earthquake here. Not quite sure why didn't go for the Shadow Sneak with the Aegislash, but maybe it wasn't carrying it. Doesn't make much sense to me, but I have no idea. Maybe it was predicting the roost predicting me to predict King Shield. That's the best I can think of. It was predicting me to predict the, I still don't know why I wouldn't go for Shadow Sneak. Would have probably taken me out, but in any case, it dies, so that's fantastic. In comes the Goodra. We see it has Assault Vest now as I knock it off, and that's great because it means I can kill this thing with special attacks now much more easily than I would have been able to before. Not that I really need to because it's so worn down at this point, less than half HP, and it's poisoned, and I can easily kill it with Excadrill with an Earthquake. However, because Dragonite is still useful to me, and because I think it's going to be the thing that's going to win me the game, I am going to Rapid Spin and sacrifice my Excadrill on this turn for the sake of keeping Multiscale intact. And it's going to be really useful because he still has a Mega Kangaskhan on his team. And Mega Kangaskhan, if Multiscale is broken, is going to be able to outspeed me or priority me with a Sucker Punch and most likely take out my Dragonite. So, that in mind, I had to sacrifice my Excadrill to get off the Rapid Spin so that I would be in a good enough position to deal with the Kangaskhan. So now, as I said before, Mawile, still good for a Sucker Punch. I tell you what, bringing it back in and finish off the Goodra with that. I know that it has to attack me because it's an Assault Vest variety, and it can't have any non-attacking moves. So that was perfect. Finished it off with that. And now comes in the Mega Kangaskhan. I'm hoping that it's not going to go for priority because it would out-priority my priority with the Sucker Punch, but it doesn't. Goes for the Earthquake instead. I get off a nice chunk of damage there, and now hopefully, because of the earlier Rapid Spin going on, the Stealth Rocks are no longer in play, meaning that even if I go to Dragonite, I am not going to die because the return, though it's going to do a huge amount, will not be enough to take me out. Look how much that second one does, man. If I didn't have Multiscale, I would most certainly be dead from the first hit and the second hit following it. So I managed to work my way around that with some strategy and some endgame plays and finish it off with an Outrage, and good stuff from Dragonite. So good game. I really enjoyed that one. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys did as well. I've made a load of new stuff. I haven't quite had any battles with it yet, so I'm thinking of trying to get some of those under my belt. But thank you very much. Do leave a like if you enjoyed this video. That's always appreciated. And until next time, it's going to be it for this Pokemon battle. So I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.